The caption is incorrect. This is day 3 of the Surviving the Hashtag Rona Summit, but this is not Shift Your Energy like meditation. That was Amy who did that this morning before me. This session is actually on purpose by numbers, finding your purpose using numerology, pivoting in your purpose using numerology. So, first, I just want to do a check in. So, I'm going to start a watch party in our Brown Mamas group because I really just want to do a check in with everybody and see how everybody's doing. Hopefully, everybody is doing well, um, and everybody is healthy. Everybody is staying in the house. Everyone is enjoying their time, the extra time that they should be having with their family members, friends, children. Um, so let me do that first. So just give me a second before I get started because I want to start a watch party and make sure that the audio is good. Because yesterday, I apologize, the audio was a little crappy yesterday. Um, so give me a minute. If you want to post in the comments, I see there's a few people on here already. How are you doing? How are you doing through this quarantine? What have been your highs and lows? Let's start out with that. Like, what have been your highs of the quarantine and what have been your lows of the quarantine? I know for me, probably my high has been doing this summit, even though it's been my high and my low would be doing this summit. It's been a high for me because it's been awesome to just be able to see that other women can utilize this platform that I've built for their ability to, share their own purpose and um, their own gifts and talents and abilities. But it's been a low because of the amount of time I've had to spend online. That's been really tough for me. Just dealing with some physical ailments that I have around spending too much time online has been a bit stressful. Uh, but like I said, it's been worth it, but I am glad it's going to be over today. I will say that. I am glad that it's going to be over today. So if you're joining me right now, I'm just asking, doing a little check in before we get started with our purpose by numbers using numerology session. I want to ask, what are your highs and lows? What are your highs and lows from being on quarantine so far? What have been the things that you've enjoyed, and what are the things that you kind of feel challenged with? I want to know. So I'm sending some waves. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Chris. Hey, Aunt Cynthia. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Salome. Hey, Pasheen. Hey, I don't know how to say your name, sis. Nah. What's up, Amy? Thanks for joining in again. So, if you get a chance, just post your highs and lows. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, I really struggled with what to talk about today because I was like, oh, I want to talk about mompreneurship. And then I was like, don't really want to talk about mompreneurship anymore. I would much rather talk about something that's near and dear to my heart and that's much easier for me to talk about. And that's always, well, one of the things that's very easy for me to talk about is numerology. I love the science of numbers. I love learning about numbers and how they can really act as a guide, as a symbol, the sacred science of numbers, in terms of interpreting things on your path, in terms of knowing why you are here, in terms of really being able to understand what makes you tick as a woman, as a person, as a being of this earth. I love numerology. So I want to share. Oh, Sunbeam, thank you so much for joining. I want to read her highs and lows real quick. She said, I love being able to work out more, prepare meals, plan my day out. Absolutely. Working from home is more stressful and harder to stay focused. Definitely. I can agree with that. I'm always home with my kids because I'm a homeschooler, but just them not being able to get up and go to the gym every day is a struggle because that's typically when I do my physical exercise as well as meditate, as well as do yoga. So having everybody here at the same time. I was talking to a girlfriend yesterday about mom guilt and how much mom guilt is just like killing me right now because every time I go to sit down at the computer, I'm just kind of like, oh, I should be doing something with the kids and not giving myself the grace. So, Sunbeam, anybody else who's experiencing mom guilt, we need to try to give ourselves some grace, just in terms of recognizing that this is all new. We're learning this as we go. We're figuring out how to operate in this new normal. As a homeschooler, I can easily say that a lot of my life has not changed, but a lot of it has. At first, I was like, oh, I'm good for this. I'm a homeschooler. Like, this is good. And now I'm realizing, like, yo, no, this is not everyday life. Like, everyday life, my boys have stuff to do, they have activities. I can get up and go when I want to get up and go. That's not what's happening right now. But it is creating space and time for some other things. I started my seedlings just 2 days ago. I'm getting ready to get started in my garden tomorrow, which I'm excited about. So I want to talk a little bit about numerology and how people can use this during this time that you have this downtime. Like Sunbeam said, you have time in the mornings to really be able to shift your focus, maybe towards yourself a little bit more, maybe inward a little bit more. And what numerology has done for me, I always talk about myself first, is it has made me more confident in understanding who I am as a woman, understanding what makes me tick, understanding why when I meet some people, the vibe is just off and I'm just not willing to go there, no matter how hard I try or how hard the other person tries. Numbers are signs and symbols that the Creator has gifted us with that help us to interpret things on our path and also help us to interpret our own actions, experiences, behaviors, thoughts, all of those things. And so that's why I'm a huge advocate of numerology. And why I think that every woman, especially, should know how to run their numbers. You should know how to do your number chart. You should know how to interpret these signs and symbols and compatibilities in your life journey. And one of the things I always like to point out to folks is we send our kids to school every day to learn math, right? We send them to learn how to count their money, how to do statistics and ratios, how to understand different mathematical concepts and variables. But we don't teach them how to use this sacred science that the Creator has gifted us with, the sacred science of numbers, in terms of how to decode signs and symbols that are really helping you to live as your higher self. Um, and one of the things that became resoundingly clear to me when COVID-19 hit and the quarantine became official was that I had a great grasp and was able to very quickly assess my own gifts and talents because I already knew what they were, because I know from a spiritual center, from a soul center, I understand what my abilities are, and I also understand my path. So I understand that me as a five, I'm a five life path. It means that I'm always seeking change. So the quarantine was a great opportunity for me to hop on and do something different. So I'm really embracing that in this time. Typically, I run a support group for Black moms here in Pittsburgh, but I have some other awesome skill sets. I can build websites. I homeschool my kids, and I've been doing that for 5 years. So I have tons of lesson plans that I've written out over the years. I love numerology and I study numerology. So knowing that I'm a life path five, and fives have to understand the law of change, have to know the law of change. That is our lesson here on earth, is embracing change. I knew that this was a time for me to kind of like snap into something new and really embrace something new. But it's hard to know that when you aren't sure why you're here. And that is what numerology can help you with. Now, I'll never tell anybody that this is like a quick fix and you're going to come out of it and you're immediately going to know exactly what your purpose is. But what it helps you to do is it helps you to decode. And it also helps you to do something that I've just learned over these last 3 years of learning numerology, which is to strengthen your strengths and manage your weaknesses. It makes you really, really confident in understanding that there's a reason why I'm not good at organizing. The reason I'm not good at organizing is because I love change. I'm here to embrace change. I am here to really grasp what it means to let go. And so if I was a person who was super detail oriented and super regimented, I would not be able to embrace that law of change. Soon as that quarantine hit, I was like, oh, homeschool time to get some homeschool products out here. We're going to sell some homeschool stuff, because I know that this is the universe calling me in to get on my life path and understand and let things go and embrace the moment, because that's the reason why I'm here, y'all. That's the reason why I'm here. So numerology helps you to understand that. So today I'm going to be offering numerology readings. I'm only going to do 5 because I'm being very intentional over the next 4 weeks about taking times off. So if you're interested in a numerology reading, check out that link in the comments. It's actually on the screen, bit.ly/intuitive science. And you can, book a reading there. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about um, finding your purpose and recognizing your purpose and how numerology kind of guides you in that. So there are a couple of numbers that if you choose to get a reading today, I will be able to interpret for you. One, I'll be able to interpret your life path number, which kind of gives you, think about your life path as the tunnel. This is what a numerologist told me once, one of my guiding lights. She told me, think about your life path number as a tunnel. It is literally a tunnel that you're walking through. So it's determining your environment. It's determining the people you meet. I'm never amazed that whenever I meet somebody who I'm attracted to, I have this extreme attraction to, I can't let go of them. They typically have the number 5 in their name or in their birthday. Um, because I'm looking for people who adapt to change well, because I'm looking to learn from them. I'm looking for experiences that are going to allow me to embrace the law of change. And so that my life path number doesn't necessarily tell me who I am, but it definitely tells me what I'm going to encounter and what I need to embrace and what I need to let go of. Because sometimes I meet people who I'm not attracted to, and I'm kind of like, even though this person is nice, they're kind, they have something to give me, but there's something ain't right between the two of us. And typically it's because of that. That person is not going to help me fulfill this purpose, this reason why I'm here on earth. And so that's what your life path number kind of will help you to figure out. And I can figure that out too for you with a reading. I did a reading for a young lady, and it's interesting because typically people who come to me for readings, they have the number 1 in their birthday or they have the number 1 in their name. Or their name adds up to a 1. The first vowel in their name is a 1 because I am a 1 personality. I am a leader. I am somebody who strikes out on change. I'm really good at coming up with great ideas. You can give me your idea and I will kind of 2.0 it. Um, so so a young lady came to me late last year, the last time I did numerology readings for folks, and she wanted me to do a reading for her. And it was really interesting doing her numbers and realizing that she was supposed to be attracted to me. Like everything in her numbers said, Muffy is the person to help you. Muffy is the person to teach you, because she was attracted to people with the number 1, and I am a 1 personality. So that's kind of what your life path number is attracting you to people. It's attracting you to environments. And then you have your personality number. Your personality number tells you who you are. It tells you, it affirms for you because you already know. That's the interesting thing about doing numerology readings for people. They always say to me, I already knew, you just solidified it for me because you're a stranger, because you don't know me. You're coming to me and then you're telling me stuff that I'm like, Dad, I've known this. People have told me this. I didn't believe that it was true. And you kind of like shine the light on it all for me. You gave me the light. Give me the light. That's what they say. You gave me the light and allowed me to believe in myself. And so I'll get the link for you. What's my sister's name? Salome. I'm about to post it in here right now. But yeah, so that's kind of what it does for you. And it also, hold on. There it is. And it also, in terms of your personality number, it helps you realize Darnell is so into numerology because it is the truth, Shay. Like numerology is the truth. And it doesn't matter whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, there are numbers all throughout the Bible. That is one of the things I learned through studying the sacred science of numbers. 40 days and 40 nights when Jesus was in the wilderness or in the desert, basically being tempted. 40 and 40 adds up to the number 8, as above, so below. That defines the entire experience of 40 days and 40 nights. The number 7, which is the God number, It's known as the God number, which stands for mysticism and you know, mysticism and hidden things and secrets. So it doesn't matter. A lot of people see things like numerology and they're like, oh, that's the occult. Not really. Numbers are gifted to us by God. Numbers are how God formulated this earth. This earth is mathematical. It is a stream of numbers that are constantly shifting and changing and allowing people to find things and people and places in it. And so it is a gift. And if you know how to, if you understand numerology, you can really understand some basic fundamental things that help to propel you forward and give you confidence for the journey. Understanding that you were not you in and of yourself, you were purposeful, right? You were not put here just to be. You were put here for a purpose. God gave you a purpose. There was something that was cemented in you the moment you were born, the moment you were named. Um, and you are set now on a path that is going to allow you to really learn a lesson, become a beacon for something. But it's all about finding out what that something is. And so your personality number kind of tells you what your strengths are, but it also tells you what your weaknesses are. And through numerology, one of the things that I've become most confident in is that I'm not going to be able to change my weaknesses, right? My weaknesses are likely always going to be my weaknesses, but I can learn to manage them. And by understanding that, I'm not necessarily a detail oriented person. I am a person who's always looking for change. I am a person who's always looking for the next big idea, the next thing to learn. I'm a very curious person, but understanding that means that, you know, I may have to hire an administrative assistant. It's not something I will ever be good at, ever ever. I will never be good at data entry and planning stuff out. So I don't waste time with that type of stuff. I typically always find somebody to do those type of things for me. But had it not been for numerology, I would not have necessarily accepted that as a weakness. I would have made it something that I'm continually working on. One of the mamas had posted in the group earlier this week about taking a break from healing. And I think a big part of taking a break from healing is understanding that there are certain weaknesses you're always going to have. And you just have to learn how to manage them, whether that means hiring somebody to complete that specific task, or whether that means, working on that task, but not so diligently that it causes you mental, spiritual, physical anguish, because it's not worth it, because it's likely always going to be your weakness. So utilizing numerology as a way to find out what makes your personality tick, and also better understand and have grace and compassion for you yourself as a person. And then the other thing that numerology can help you to find out is how other people perceive you. It's always interesting because what I always like to say is everybody has an outer man number and an inner man number. And typically the outer man number is there for one reason and one reason only: to protect your inner man. So like I said, my inward, I am a free spirit, but people will never know that. Everybody that I encounter is always like, you seem very organized and regimented. And you just seem like you have it all together. And I'm like, you have no idea. Inside this mind of mine, it is going a million miles a minute. It's going a million miles a minute, and it's always moving, and it's always like, oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that. But because my outer man, how people perceive me, is very organized and very what's the word I'm looking for? Regimented, routined. But that's just not who I am as a person. But my outer man is protecting my inner man. It's giving me a shell so that people perceive me a certain way, so that one, I'm not taken advantage of, and two, so that I have something sacred for myself. And so it really gives you a clue. What I love about knowing my outer man is it gives me a clue when I meet new people of what they're thinking. And leaving it up to me whether I want to dispel the myth or not, because I don't have to. I can choose to protect myself. I can choose to walk in my purpose in secret. I don't have to always live out loud. And so that is the beauty of numerology, is giving you those kind of insider secrets and insight into you as an individual, as a person. and really allowing you to take control and manifest your vision for your life and the creator's vision for your life in a way that you feel confident and you feel almost as if you can lay and sleep in it, because it has become such a warm blanket for you to be the person that you are meant to be. And so if you visit that link, bit.ly/intuitive science, you can book a reading with me. I'm only going to be doing 5 readings because I need to take a break, honestly. And I have to have a huge amount of bandwidth in order to do readings for people, because it really is me interpreting you for you. And so having to almost remove my inner feelings and my inner anything, and giving myself over to you for a period of time so that I can help you to find your purpose and manifest what it is that you are here, that the creator has created for you to manifest, um, you know, for the glory of God and for the glory of what is created here, and moving that forward. And so yeah, I'm a huge fan of numerology. It has been a beacon for me in so many areas of my life, in terms of determining compatibility with other folks, in terms of knowing when I should jump in and when I should kind of move back. And with this whole COVID-19 quarantine, this is just a great time for folks to really take stock and really learn about who they are as individuals, and really, you know, find your purpose, find out why you're here. I was listening to one of my favorite spiritualists on YouTube, and she was just saying how um, many of us already knew. I already knew that 2020 was a time for me to sit the hell down. And I actually let a couple of people talk me out of it, which I shouldn't have done. But I knew in my heart center, from just getting uh, in tune with myself, that 2020 was telling me to sit the hell down. Um, and Salome, you can inbox me if you want to talk more about pricing. Um, but it's it was really telling me to sit down. It was really telling me to be content with what I already have, and to dig deeper in terms of finding my own way, and really getting really clear on my pathway. So I already knew that, and a bunch of the spiritualists that I follow and hang out with, we talked about that prior to the year starting, about 2020 was going to be a year of um, foundations and building, because 2020 adds up to the number 4, and 4 is all about, if you think about a plant, when it's 0 it's a seed, when it's 1 it's when it gets its water, ideas, magic, things begin to happen, spirit and soul and everything comes to 1. When it's 2 is when it's still in the darkness but it's beginning to grow. When it's 3 it's just now breaking the soil, and when it's 4 it's a brand new stem. But there really aren't, there might be a leaf, there might be 2 leaves, so you're still in a foundational stage. So the number 4 is really signifying of foundations, it's really signifying of self mastery, it's really signifying of quiet and learning deeper understandings of things. And 4 is also, it's also one of those completion numbers. It's like the calm before the storm. So expect that next year a lot is going to shake up. There's going to be a lot of shake up, because this year, even though it seems like things are kind of like crazy, this is the calm. This is the reset. This is the sit back, relax, check in with yourself internally. Look at your foundation. Is it shifty? And that's why a lot of people have a hard time finding their purpose, because their foundation is so shifty. They don't have a daily schedule. Sunbeam said earlier that, you know, what has been her high um, of this quarantine is being able to have that morning foundation, being able to work out, preparing her meals, planning her day out. How many people are really taking the time to do that right now? And if you're not, if you are a work from home parent, think about all the other ways that you can de-stress right now. Now, when you're working from home, that means you can get up and you can go straight to work. But that also means when you get off, you don't have the commute time. What can you do with that extra time? Can you check in? Can you book a reading and get clear on your purpose? Think about how you can check in with yourself right now. Take a real long and sturdy look at your foundation. What is your foundation saying to you right now? Is it crying out? Are there cracks in your foundation? Is there dirt coming up from out of the floor? Is it solid? And if it is solid, what can you do right now to build upon the solidity that you've already created in your life? Um, I know for me, like I was talking earlier, and if you are in here right now, post your highs and lows of the quarantine in the comments. One of the things that I said to myself at the beginning of this year, before I knew the quarantine was happening, was that foundation wise, I feel like I need to build. I feel like I have a pretty solid foundation for my life, but I wanted to build on that foundation. Like I feel like this year, me and my husband will have been married for 12 years, and we typically get along very well. But I'm really interested in growing the relationship. I have an 18-year-old son. I really want to build more with him in terms of helping him to become an adult. And then I have two middle aged children that need me now more than ever. And so, building on that, that's what building on the foundation means to me. What does it mean to you? Have you found your purpose in life? Do you even know why you're here? If you don't know why you're here, nothing else is going to make sense. Your relationship with your mate's not going to make sense. Your relationships with your friends and your job and yourself are not going to make sense because you have no clear purpose as to why you're here. And purpose doesn't mean I'm meant to be an accountant. Purpose doesn't mean Takia says she's been able to work out every day. Absolutely. Purpose doesn't mean what you do. Purpose means who are you becoming? Who are you becoming as a child of God? Who are you becoming as a holder of the call? It's a Kemetic term. The call is a Kemetic term for the life that women hold in our wombs. Who are you becoming in terms of that? What are you becoming? And do you feel like what you are becoming is growing and becoming more widespread in terms of Amy had us to do meditation this morning, and one of the things that really stuck with me was when she said, imagine the love in your heart. Now imagine it spreading in the room, in your home, in your family, in your community, in the world. If you don't have purpose in terms of being in your purpose, is really, really hard to spread that love because it doesn't have a funnel. It's almost like you have love to give. It's stored up in you. It's a seed though. And it doesn't have a way to express itself. And that is what numerology does for me every day, is it gives me a way to express my love. It keeps me in my lane, so I don't try to go into other people's lanes. You'll rarely see me like, oh, I can do that too. Nope, because that's not why I'm here. I have a reason I'm here. I'm a destroyer and a rebuilder. I am a change agent. I am a person of ideation. I come up with great ideas. And so I know that when I have love to give, when I have when I want to give of myself spiritually, emotionally, physically, I know what funnel it is to go through. I don't have that confusion in my life, and you deserve to have that also. You deserve to not be constantly confused about which way to go, because if you follow your being, not your doing, if you follow your being as a person, it will never steer you wrong. If you follow what you are supposed to be on this earth, it will never steer you wrong. And there's a multitude of ways to figure that out. One of the things that I know I'm here as a person to do is to study a multitude of things. Like I said, I'm a changer. I am a person who is constantly looking for difference. Brianna said her high this during the quarantine has been spending time with herself and her family. That's beautiful, Brianna. That is beautiful. And her low has been missing her scholars and family because Brianna works has a child care center. I definitely understand that, missing the children in your life. But no, I didn't went off path, Jesus. So I found my way back. But yeah, oh yes. So just being able to know where to spread your love, what to do with your love. And it's hard to do that when you don't know your purpose, when you're unclear as to what funnel it's supposed to go into. You find yourself in comparison politics. You find yourself following people at the drop of a dime. And honestly, once I started doing numerology, it was a combination of things for me. Between numerology, learning how to meditate, and learning that prayer is a form of meditation, is a form of prayer, those three things kind of like help me every day to focus in on what is most important and to know what is most important for me, um, as a person who seeks out freedom organically, because that's the reason why I'm here. So I'm just about done. If you have any questions you want to ask me, please do so in the comments. I can see comments both in the Pittsburgh Brown Mamas group, and I can also see them on the Brown Mamas live page. So if you have a question about numerology that you want to ask me, don't forget to go to that link, bit.ly into /intuitive science. If you're interested in booking a reading, I'm only going to do 5 this month, because I need to protect my own energy, and I also need to make sure I have some left to work on my own foundations. But that's about all that I have. If you have any questions, you can always inbox me. I might not answer after Monday, but I will try my best. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your time and your ears. And thank you to our sponsors for the Surviving the Rona Summit. Healthy Start, who's been just a light for me the last 2 years. Allegheny County Health Department and Alicia Davis, thank you so much. The Jewish Healthcare Foundation, Hanifa, and UPMC's Community Outreach Department all made this summit possible. You will have 3 more sessions at 2 o'clock. Cordelia is going to do her session again because it was cutting out last night on self-care. Then at 4 o'clock, Healthy Start is going to be, hey, Shaitan, thanks, Amy. Thanks for everything, Amy. Healthy Start is going to be back in the house, and Ghazi Tibbs from the Pittsburgh Black Breastfeeding Circle, as well as Renee Green, who is the program manager for the Center for the Center for Urban Breastfeeding at Healthy Start. They're going to be talking about breastfeeding during COVID-19 and beyond, normalizing breastfeeding. And then at 4 o'clock, who's at 4 o'clock? Don't let me forget. I didn't forget. No, 8 o'clock. Who's at 8? I don't want to forget. Oh, Ayana will be back with the business of birthing and how doulas can pivot their businesses during this time, because I'm sure you guys know there are a lot of changes happening in our hospitals right now, and folks need to pivot in their businesses. So, all right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Have a good afternoon. Get out and enjoy some of this sun. Bye bye.